Her letters. Now I want the journal.
It's right there.
I'm sorry I left without saying anything and that you had to wait here alone.
Yes.
I know what you must have been feeling. You're hurt. I didn't want that.
Why have you come back?
See, there's a little roll of paper goes in there, and it records every transaction.
Why does it do that?
Well, so at the end of the day, the amount of money that's in your cash drawer is equal to everything that's been rung up. Do you have to know these things?
Well, Johnny, if I'm supposed to be learning about small business, now, where does the roll of paper go in?
Well, I don't even bother with it, to tell the truth.
You don't?
No. Well, look, it's designed for people to see whether their helper robbing them blind or not. The only people who handle money around here are me and Maeve and Kevin.
But Johnny, that's terrible. You mean you could be being robbed?
Oh.
I mean, I could?
If you are suggesting that my best friend Kevin McGinnis would touch a penny that wasn't his, dear, you got another thing coming.
No, but it's not very businesslike. Johnny, I expected more from you. I have something to show you. Almost forgot.
Now what?
Souvenirs of Ireland. See, I thought we could give them away, like door prizes.
Give that away?
Well, don't worry, they're very inexpensive. Really, people give things away all the time in business. They're called giveaways.
Yeah, look, I've been in business a long time. All I ever gave away was an occasional drink on the house.
But a drink on the house costs more than these do. See, I can save you money.
Dee, it's been a long day. Let me think on it, all right?
You don't like it? Well, how about this one? All right. I won't force them on you. I'm a reasonable person. I'll see if I can't find something a little more spiffy.
Thank you, Dee.
Have you talked to Patrick yet?
No.
Johnny, Maeve could be so upset.
Will you just back off, Dee, please?
But Maeve's very important to me, and suppose she hears some of this awful gossip that's going around.
Keep it up that loud, and you're going to be telling her yourself.
Well, I'd die first.
Well, so would I. That's my last word on the subject. I'm not telling her.
But, Johnny, somebody has to. I thought you were going to call Pat.
Yeah, well, I haven't been able to figure out a way of putting it to him.
Hi, Patty.
Hello,
Don't think about it, just say it.
Well, listen, how are you? Thought I'd stop in, check in with the family before heading home.
Hi, son.
Home? You mean they're calling that little room they give you at the hospital home?
Just an expression, Dee. You feeling all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine.
I don't think so.
Well, maybe just a little tired.
I don't like your color. Hold still a minute.
Come on, Patrick, what are you doing? I'm fit as a fiddle.
Except you feel a little tired, yeah. You got any problem with deep breaths?
Look, I breathe as good as you can. Will you just cut it out?
Johnny's okay. Pat, maybe you should just tell us about you.
Now, Dee, are you part of this conversation? I assume that means no, so feel free to disappear, okay?
Fine, I can take a hint. I don't need to listen to your personal conversations. I hear enough about you with all the gossip.
The gossip Dee means is about you and Nancy Feldman.
Nah, she's lying. There's no gossip.
No?
You want to come straight out with it? I'd prefer that.
Patrick, your mother and I have had some news that's a little disturbing.
Yeah?
Where are you living these days, Patrick?
My guess is you know already.
I want you to tell me.
On Bucky Carter's houseboat.
Look, I've had enough from you, okay?
Lots of people know about it.
That's enough, Dee.
Down. Nancy and I are living on the houseboat, but it's not a step we took lightly. I mean, you said it yourself. Things don't stand still, and we felt we were moving to a decision. Either we had to stop seeing each other or move in together. Well, I have to tell you that we are happy.
It's all over the hospital pad.
Oh, and I'll bet you had a fine time spreading the word, didn't you? Look, my advice to you, from me, is just stay away from me, out of my sight, huh?
That's unfair. You may not be worried about what you're doing, but your father is, and so am I. I mean, somebody has to think about Maeve.
Think about me? Why does anybody have to think about me?
Hello, Ray.
Oh, there you are.
I've been sitting here thinking about you. Really? I bet I came out second best.
I have a couple of questions I'd like to ask you. Precisely what were you and Frank doing together outside the South Wing elevators a few moments ago? And why are you planning to meet again next week?
Oh my, saw us talk to each other, now you're gonna ask me to stay away from him.
I'd like some answers to my questions.
Well, why don't you just ask Frank?
Because I'm asking you, or is it a secret?
If we were having a secret meeting, would we hold it in a public corridor?
And now you're stalling. I'd like to know why that's necessary, too.
You have stumbled on something big. A deep, dark secret and a serious threat to your engagement.
Go on.
There's going to be a total renovation of the pediatric wing of the hospital. Marshall suggested that the junior senator of New York might be able to help us raise money on a federal level. Now, isn't that intriguing?
Frank has been asked to help.
Frank has agreed to serve on the board of directors. Goodbye, I am leaving now.
What about you, Jillian? What's your role in all of this?
I'm administering the project.
So I can assume that including Frank was your idea.
Whatever you say.
Are you quite sure that you're well enough physically to handle such a major undertaking?
Time will tell.
I'm awfully sorry, but I'm afraid Frank won't be able to be of much help at all.
Why don't you just let him decide that for himself?
I'm afraid he may have forgotten, but he scheduled a statewide tour of children's hospitals, so he won't have much time, at least I doubt he'll have much time to devote to a minor pediatric clinic here.
Well, why don't you discuss all your doubts with him, and I'll just assume that he's available until I hear otherwise.
Well, I'll go over his schedule with him, and then I'll be in touch with you.
I have a feeling he's going to make room for this one.
I wouldn't count on it.
I wouldn't count on talking him out of it.
See, on top of everything else, we have a rather heavy schedule of wedding preparations. However, I will do something for you. I'll talk to the other senator from New York. I'm sure he'll be able to help you.
Yeah, perhaps you should know the name of this pediatric wing.
I doubt that it would make any difference at all.
It's going to be the Edmund Coleridge Bolak Memorial Pavilion.
Oh.
Oh?
I assume you're responsible for this arrangement?
No, actually, Seneca gave all the original funding and the name without consulting me.
How very opportune.
I want you to understand something, Ray. I did not suggest Frank for this project, but I didn't oppose him either. There is no doubt, no question that he can help us.
as a business associate.
Yes. That meeting you saw taking place at the elevators, that was for our first session for the board of directors. Will you leave now? Or do you want to stay and lock up?
That session may be one Frank will miss.
That's entirely up to him. Let me tell you something, Ray. If you consider Frank's and my participation in this project a threat to your marriage, you must be on very shaky ground.
I came back for this.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Faith.
yeah? Well, I'm angry.
And you've every reason to be. Mostly I've been confused. But I'm not any longer.
I don't know why you're here or what you're thinking. But obviously you have something to say to me, so why don't you just say it and get it over with?
No, I'm going to show you instead. I'm not confused any longer. And Poppy isn't Terry. These letters were written by a girl who died years ago. Written to a boy who doesn't exist anymore. Teresa's dead. God keep her. But I'm alive. And Poppy is Poppy Lincoln or Poppy Donahue, or whatever she wants to call herself. But she isn't Terry brought back to life.
Where's Poppy now?
She's back at the apartment, packing.
You're not.
No, no. I'm not going with her. Poor Poppy. Looking like Teresa was just as confusing for her as it was for me. She thought that she had to love me because Teresa did. She tried to fit her identity in every way. A name, a family, a man to love.
A man that loved her. Maybe she was so confused because some of it was real.
You're saying that I love her?
You must. A part of you must.
Oh, well, maybe a part of me. But I don't feel any sense of loss. She's probably going to go to Ireland, and I don't ever expect to see her again.
Will she tell the Donahues?
No, no. They'll be everything she ever wanted, and more. And she will be a miracle to them. And I know she'll keep my secret.
She isn't angry.
She is. But she won't hurt me, I know that.
I thought you were going away with her.
There were moments when it did seem that Terry had come back to life. And the pull was very strong. But I couldn't get you out of my mind. Ultimately, you brought me back to reality.
I thought you were gone.
I thought I was gone myself for a while.
Tom, not your journal.
No, this is part of the past, and it can't control me anymore. I'm not in Ireland now. I'm in America. I'm damn lucky for it. Now, tell me what I've done to us.
tell
Is
me.
there any hope?
What do you want?
I want to believe all the best things you've ever said to me.
The best things?
That you're not in love with Pat Ryan anymore. That you love me now. And that you want to stay my wife.
Do you want to believe those things?
Yes.
Yes.
All this hasn't ruined everything.
No.
Forgive me.
How are you, dear? Well, isn't anyone going to speak up?
I think you better answer your mother, Patrick.
About what, Patrick?
There have been some new developments. Nothing unusual these days.
What sort of developments?
Nancy and I are living together on Bucky's houseboat.
Patrick.
It's not casual. We gave it a lot of thought. Well,
You don't have to explain it.
no, I want to, because we've considered the situation carefully. We know all the factors involved.
You know, there are people who would not agree with what you're doing, Patrick.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the reasons we were trying to be discreet, Dee.
What has Delia got to do with
She
this?
seems to be the one announcing where we're living.
That's not true. It's all over the hospital, and you talk about being discreet. I'm the one that was worried about your mother, Patrick. I'm the one that was half sick that she would find out from some of that awful gossip.
Well, tell us about awful gossip, Dee.
All right, look, Patrick, how your mother and I found out about you is not the issue here.
Yeah. Well, I only hope you'll try to understand.
Of course I'll try. On the other hand, as you would say, you know where I'm coming from. And it's not going to make it easy.
Mom, I didn't want to upset you.
I know you haven't done it out of unkindness. Excuse me, I have some things to do in the kitchen.
Maybe I can help.
If there was any gossip spread around, she spread it. What's she doing in my life? And what's she doing in this bar all the time, Dom?
Well, I suppose it isn't the end of the world.
How about a cup of tea, Maeve?
There are very few things that a cup of tea won't help. At this moment,
Well, let me put the kettle on anyway.
it's ridiculous, all this emotion. And I don't usually get thrown this way.
But Patty's let you down. It's not the way you raised him.
It certainly is not.
He was always the good one, sort of. It's not ridiculous for you to be upset, not at all.
I've always not liked people that look into the future and see the worst. I don't like it. I deplore it.
The worst is the babies they might have, isn't it?
Wouldn't be surprised before long if they're telling me that they're already married, maybe with a little one on the way. A little one that won't know whether it's Catholic or Jewish. Oh, so much more.
Maeve, maybe something can still be done.
Nothing that John and I or any of the family can do.
Now, you don't know that.
Indeed, I do. What I've got to do is accept my son's decision, and with as much grace and goodwill that I can muster, even if I don't agree with what he's doing.
But won't that make you terribly unhappy?
Oh, Delia, you're not supposed to get everything you want in this world. Don't you know that by now?
Things can still work out for the best. They did for me. I'm sure it's going to be all right.
I don't think so, but I'm willing to hope.
Look, they'll never get married, and they'll never have babies. You'll see.
It's all well and good, my dear, to pull assurances out of the sky, but...
I suppose it's only a matter of time before Dave and Beryl Feldman find out. Wonder what they'll do.
I don't know. Poor Beryl.
Yeah, poor Beryl.
What if the perfect guy for you is in LA, or DC, or New York City? Get ready to take a holiday. A new original reality series premieres Wednesday, July 29th at 10 on SoapNet.